Hi, Ellen and Vanessa. How are you?
Hi, dear.
Hello,
We're good.
good to meet
Good.
you virtually.
Yes, you as well. So I thought you both gave such raw, honest, authentic performances. You both really captured the resilience amidst trauma that these women went through, that so many women go through, often quietly. So thank you so much for this. So my question is for both of you, what did you like best about working with each other?
We loved it.
We loved it. We're best friends now. He's one of my favorite people in the world.
It was a great pleasure being her mother. I still feel like her mother. We had fun together.
And Ellen, I read that you opened up your home in New York for the rehearsal period, the 5-week rehearsal, and you had a little bit of a slumber party with the two of you bonding as mother and daughter. So tell me about some of your memories during that rehearsal period.
That's funny. You know, you get into the fiction, and hopefully you want the fiction to seem real enough so that it becomes your reality temporarily. And I would say that's what we did. We were in the reality of ourselves, and then we explored each other and getting to know each other in a way that we quietly entered the fictional relationship, and then were able to flavor our real relationship with the fictional, and vice versa. How does that sound to you, Vanessa? Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, it sounds so accurate. And we had a pajama party. Ellen calls it a pajama party. And we were in our pajamas and we just had such nice time together. And yeah, got to know each other. But it was one of those things that was really so quick. We just, we felt similar somehow. And so that was really lucky. And also, because in the film, we all have to go to really difficult places. And it's almost so much easier when you've got, when you really bond with someone.
So is there a moment in the film or perhaps behind the scenes where you're really proud of each other's work?
Oh, always, through the whole thing. I can't think of a moment. It was all real to me. She was always real. I never had that feeling that you have every once in a while when you're acting with someone where you go, "Oh, really, darling? Is that what you want to do?"
Oh no.
I didn't have that at all with Vanessa. She was always true and right on, and specifically the character without any deviation or false note. She was wonderful. She's a great actress.
I mean, I remember being there, obviously, for Ellen's speech, being on the other side of the scene in her amazing monologue. And I was just on the other side of the camera. And if you turn the camera onto me and put it on, it would have been so wrong for the scene, because I think I was just like, I knew that it was an amazing moment happening where she was just like channeling something. She just kept talking, even beyond the speech, just kept saying things. And it was just like one of those incredible moments where you see this legend of an actress really in her full power.
Mm-hmm. And you're both such collaborative and such giving scene partners, either in this film or in the previous work that you've done. Is there someone who's left an indelible mark on you as a person and then as an artist?
I worked with Anthony Hopkins, and that was amazing because he taught me. I remember sitting in his, before we were in between scenes and things, I'd just sit with him and just ask him so many questions about his process. And he has an amazing process, a sort of a particular kind of method, and I learned all about that. So I owe him a lot for absorbing that technique, as well as he's just amazing. Have you seen The Father yet? It's just the most astonishing. Guys, get ready. It's so brilliant. It really is, I think, some of his best work ever. So he was an amazing influence on me. But also, I've just worked with Ellen, so that's the best of the best, really.
You know, I'm thinking of this film I did called Resurrection. It's a film I put together. And there's a great American actress, Eva Le Gallienne, who is a theater actress and had never performed in film. And I asked her to play my grandmother in that film. And it's the only time she was ever on screen. She was in her 90s. And we had a moment together where I said, I play a healer in the film. And I said something, I don't remember what I said, but it was kind of referring to either God or Jesus, I'm not sure which. But she answered and she said, "That's it, isn't it? If we could just love each other, the way we say we would love him." And every time she did that, she dropped her voice. It sounded like when she said the word love, it sounded like she dropped her voice into her heart. And it made me cry every time. Tears came to my eyes. That was one of the most beneficial moments I ever had with another actor.
And you talked a little about the process. Can you both talk about your process into getting into these characters for this film?
Yeah, for me, it was really simple, to be honest. I knew that I had to learn about, I knew I had to spend a lot of time with women who had been through this. And in fact, the more women I spent time with, the more came towards to talk to me. And the more I realized that this is something that's so not often talked about. And there is a lot of silence around. And yet it's a really, you know, it happens more often than you think. And that was kind of shocking, as well as me realizing that then I had a massive responsibility to try and tell it as kind of truthfully to them and their true experiences as possible. And so that was the main part of my research, really. And I owe them so much. And a lot of them were kind of there with me inside all the way through. And I was so, you know, when I saw that Chrissy Teigen had spoken up about it and Meghan Markle too, it just feels like really important that we speak about it more so that women and families that go through this realize that they're not alone, and that actually there are a lot of communal support and grief and support within knowing that it's, you know, it is a very human experience. And yeah, that to me was kind of the whole intention for the film.
It was going down into my research on people who emerged out of the Holocaust. And I had researched that before a few times. And have felt their emergence from that horror and what they have to do. Excuse me, I have to drink some water. My voice is going. To survive and to thrive, and how they compensate for the not having a happy childhood, for instance, you know, of growing up through difficulty, and what it does to them and how it makes them, in most cases, stronger. Not all. But I think in this case that she taught herself how to, and it was in her nature somehow from the beginning, to thrive. And she did. And she wants her daughter to do the same.
And finally, in January, a lot of people all over the world will be watching this film. Hopefully it'll start a lot of conversations that were previously taboo, previously not talked about. What have the two of you been watching or reading or listening lately that you've been really into?
I mean, the thing that touched me like deep in my core was the David Attenborough documentary on Netflix, his witness statement. that really, yeah, that really hit me, I think, and made me feel like I must become more conscious and more active and engage with everything that he said.
Well, I've been very affected by the energy that's coming through the, for instance, the Black Lives Matter movement, and how much more aware I have to be about my own, any way that I might be contributing to any kind of insensitivity to people of color. I've been reading that great book, Caste, C-A-S-T-E, which is a wonderful book. I read the history of slavery all over the world and throughout time, which is an astonishing realization how far back slavery goes. And that it's a gradual transformation in humanity to not take part in that. And when you look at the history of the world, we very slowly get better at more human things. And I hope this movie contributes to that progression in women being able to speak out and speak their truth and what is important to them. And I hope it helps people grieve in a more beneficial way.
Thank you so, so much, ladies, for your arts, for your work, for everything that you do. I really appreciate it. Have a lovely day. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy
Same
holidays.
to you.